You finally met someone who listens to you without interrupting. Instead of feeling relieved, you spent the entire weekend waiting for them to use your words against you. This isn't self-sabotage, it's a hidden survival reflex, and your brain runs the habit of bracing for impact to keep you safe. One quiet evening feels like a loaded gun. In this video, you'll understand why peace feels like a threat and what to do the moment you want to run. I used to get a glowing performance review and immediately start searching for new jobs because I was sure it was a setup. The praise felt like a trick, so I spent my nights scanning job boards. I ran. You do the exact same thing. You scan their face for anger the moment they hand you a gift. That reaction has nothing to do with your personality. Something deeper is twisting how you read the room.
The cost of staying ready. That physical tightness stays locked in your jaw, anticipating the exact second the other shoe drops. Forcing yourself to just relax and enjoy the good thing never works. Deep breaths and calm words don't reach the tension. Shoulders stay hitched up near your ears anyway. A pile of unfolded laundry becomes a battlefield, used just to force the tension out into the open. Before anyone has spoken a single word, an airtight defense is already prepared against a person who is only trying to help. A whole legal case builds in your head over a misplaced coffee cup, just so you have something to fight.
This constant scanning leaves you completely wrecked. Invisible wars burn your energy, and the actual reward, sitting right in front of you, goes completely ignored. Total physical exhaustion is the daily cost, and the deepest reflex driving this panic runs on a completely backwards set of rules.
Why kindness feels like leverage.
They offer to help with a massive project, and you instantly start calculating what you owe them in return. You view every kindness as a contract you haven't read yet. It looks like a generous favor on the surface. You read it as a hidden debt. You assume the bill will arrive eventually. Every time someone steps in to ease the load, you search for the invisible string attached to their action. You ruin the best collaboration of the year just to dodge the feeling of owing someone a coffee. Your hands freeze over the keyboard as you hunt for their motive. Someone reaches out to hand you a gift, and you flinch. You brace for a strike that never lands, spending the whole interaction trying to dodge a blow that is never coming.
Resisting the urge breaks the loop. Hold the silence for 3 seconds before you respond. Say thank you without adding a single disclaimer. Walk to another room to reset your posture. Count to 3 before you speak. That timed pause forces your brain to acknowledge that the immediate danger you expect isn't actually there. What happens when the snare is the silence of the room itself? Waiting for the ice to crack. You already tried telling yourself everything is fine. It didn't hold. You believe that if nothing is wrong right now, someone is hiding something terrible from you. Instead of exhaling when the pressure drops, your neck stiffens. You actively search for a missing receipt to give the anxiety a name. You grew up managing chaos, so you learned to view silence as a trick. When nobody drops a crisis on your desk, you start hunting for one. Picture walking across a frozen lake. Your spine goes rigid as you wait for the ice to crack under your boots. The farther you get without falling, the more certain you become that a drop is coming. Smooth days become delayed disasters. The unbothered morning means exactly what it looks like. Your internal warning system is attempting to protect you based on past experiences, not because something is wrong with you. It fires constantly because it has no idea how to operate when nothing is wrong. Write down the exact disaster you're bracing for. Forcing the phantom into ink strips away its power. This creates distance between you and the anxiety. It reminds you that these are internal predictions rather than objective facts. Close the notebook. Start your actual task. The longer you wait for the ice to crack, the more your body physically breaks down. You pay a brutal toll to endure a perfectly good day, and the exhaustion compounds with every hour you stand guard. The physical drop of adrenaline.
That physical exhaustion makes you finally clear a free afternoon. A craving for the stress chemicals you grow up running on hits your body. The last email goes out, the couch cushions wait, but your hands grip the fabric. Chest tightness rises, and the wall becomes the only thing you watch for the rest of the day. The sudden absence of cortisol registers as a brand new emergency. Your system spent years flooded with adrenaline to get through the week. When the pressure vanishes, that chemical supply cuts off, and the sudden plunge creates sheer panic. Picture stepping off a fast treadmill. The solid floor rushes backward under your feet, even though you aren't moving at all.
The world feels wrong because the momentum stopped. Sit on the floor and place both hands flat on the ground. Pressing into the floor gives your body solid proof that you aren't falling. Visual evidence stops the internal spin. Name 3 objects in the space that are entirely motionless. Take 1 slow inhale before you rise. This bodily withdrawal sets up the next trap. The real crisis happens in your self-image. Who are you without the fight?
3 times a week, you reject the calm because you actually crave the victory of pulling through. A cheap version makes you pace the kitchen while the television plays. A deeper one burns an entire Sunday, leaving you restless. The ultimate toll erases who you are. You've tied your entire self-worth to your ability to manage chaos. When the emergency vanishes, your identity goes with it. You become entirely useless unless you're putting out a fire, so an empty schedule registers as a void. Picture a soldier patrolling a neighborhood that hasn't seen action in 10 years. The gear's heavy and the watch is exhausting, but retiring means facing the fact that the war's over. You prefer the familiar struggle over an empty timeline. You rely on this constant motion to know who you are. Breaking the cycle requires changing how you categorize the tension. Label the anxiety as an old reflex instead of a new problem. State out loud that there's 0 emergency left to fix today. Pick up a book and finish 1 single page. That void alters how you approach your desk. Instead of assuming the quiet is a setup, treat the lack of crisis as a neutral fact. That shift in perspective stops the urge to manufacture a disaster. Breaking it before they can. Why do you destroy the very thing you worked years to build? You break the situation yourself so you can control precisely how and when it falls apart. Deleting half your best work the night before a launch guarantees a failure on your terms. Unpredictable outcomes carry too much weight. You choose a guaranteed loss over an unpredictable win because managing a disaster is a skill you already mastered. It makes sense. Knocking over your own block tower means you never have to wonder when a breeze might topple it. Surgical decoupling stops the sabotage. Publish the work before you have time to review it again. That's the whole move. Hit send and walk away. Turn off your phone for the next 2 hours. Leave the workspace immediately after you hit send. The project is done. You know the next step. The real test is whether you're willing to succeed and leave the win untouched. How to finally accept peace. Now you know the traps. You finally understand why an unbothered space makes you want to run. Psychologists call this attachment hypervigilance, the habit of bracing for impact even when you are safe. Your mind reacts to a good moment like an ambush because staying on guard used to keep you alive. You've kept watch for so long, you forgot you hold the keys to the gate. Nobody is going to walk up and hand you the permission to relax. Take it. Every time you push away a good thing, you're trying to beat the pain to the punch. Good moments belong to you now. You don't have to ruin another weekend expecting a hit that's never coming. Subscribe.